Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Their Excellencies, the Right Honourable Dame Cindy Kiro, Governor-General of New Zealand, and Dr Richard Davis.
Please be seated. E ngā mana e ngā reo, e ngā iwi o ngā haue whā, tēnei aku mihi mahana ki o koutou. Nau mai hara mai ki te whare nei, te whare kāwana. Kia ora mai tātou katoa. Distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you at Government House today for our investiture ceremony. I'd like to specifically acknowledge the Honourable Pini Henare, Minister of the Crown, Air Marshal Kevin Short, Chief of Defence, Major General John Boswell, Chief of Army, Mr Joe Harawira, Government House Kaumātua, Ms Puhi Wahine Tibble, Government House Kuia, and Lieutenant Colonel who's joining us from Army. Kia koutou, ngā mihi nui. Hosting investiture ceremonies is one of the most important duties that I perform on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen of New Zealand. It's very special to bring together such an extraordinary group of New Zealanders. You have each brought pride and a greater sense of well-being to Aotearoa New Zealand through your outstanding achievements and your service to our communities. On behalf of all New Zealanders, I extend my sincerest thanks to you for your contributions. After each recipient is honoured, I invite you all to join with me in congratulating them. Ms Catriona McLeod will now summon the recipients and read their citations.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Knight Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Sir Robert Gillies of Rotorua for services to Māori and war commemoration. Sir Robert Gillies is the last remaining member of the 28th Māori Battalion and served in B Company during World War II from 1942 to 1945 across Africa, Europe and the Middle East, and primarily in Italy. Over more than 20 years, Sir Robert has represented the men and service of the battalion at national and international events. In addition to annual Dawn and Civic Anzac ceremonies, this has included many individual occasions, including Ngārimu Scholarship presentations in Wellington and laying the wreath at the ceremony in Italy in 2019 to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Cassino. He was recognized as a Knight of the Order of Merit of the Italian Republic in 2019. He's been a trustee of the 28th Maori Battalion B Company History Trust since 2013. He has been an active member of the Te Arawa Returned Services Association, holding several roles. He recently led the 75th anniversary celebration of the return of the B Company to Tamate Kapua in Rotorua following World War II. He has long been active in his iwi Ngāti Whakaue and continues to work on the marae, maintain the war memorial, and participate in iwi affairs. Sir Robert is a member of the Waikite Rugby Club and was instrumental early on in establishing the current club rooms. Sir Robert Gillies, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Professor Harleen Hayne of Burswood, Australia, for services to health and well-being. Professor Harleen Hayne is an academic recognized for her research in memory development and adolescent risk-taking. She was the University of Otago's first female Vice-Chancellor, having formerly chaired Universities New Zealand, the New Zealand Vice-Chancellors Committee, and the university's New Zealand Research Committee. She was president of the International Society of Developmental Psychobiology. She co-chaired the Prime Minister's Science Advisory Committee on reducing social and psychological morbidity during adolescence. She sat on the Ministry of Science and Innovation's Innovation Board and the New Zealand Treasury's Advisory Board. She's an associate editor of Memory and serves on several other editorial boards. She chaired Fulbright New Zealand. Following the tragic death of a University of Otago student, Professor Hayne helped establish the Sophia Charter to enhance student well-being and safety. Professor Harleen Hayne, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. Pradu Dayaram of Arnold Valley for services to orthopaedics. Pradu Dayaram has been an orthopaedic surgeon on the West Coast for more than 35 years, being sole orthopaedic surgeon in the region for 10 years. He has operated following major incidents, including Cave Creek and Pike River. He spent hours training his own theatre staff and junior doctors around New Zealand. His theatre was regarded as one of the best nationally, with low infection rates, shortest hospital stays, and best patient control. He was the first orthopaedic surgeon in New Zealand to become a member of the American Academy of Orthopaedic Surgeons. He led the West Coast in many first surgeries in New Zealand. Mr. Dayaram was lead clinician of the newly built Te Niko Grey Hospital in 2020. Mr. Pradu Dayaram, please come forward. Dr. Jonathan Godfrey of Palmerston North for services to disabled people, particularly blind and low vision people. Dr. Jonathan Godfrey is president of the Association of Blind Citizens of New Zealand. He's provided leadership for the Disabled People's Organisation Coalition. He played a key role in developing the Disability Action Plan 2019 to 2023. He's a senior lecturer in statistics at Massey University, reportedly the first blind person to be appointed to such a role. He has been a member of the Cross-Government Disability Data and Evidence Working Group. Internationally, he's mentored blind students pursuing statistics and other STEM subjects. He was a board member of the Royal New Zealand Foundation of the Blind. Dr. Godfrey has been involved with Palmerston North City Council committees, Mid-Central DHB's Disability Support Advisory Committee, and Palmerston North's Central Regional Advocacy Service. Dr. Jonathan Godfrey, please come forward.
Turn towards my voice. That's it. Thank you. Yes. It's his first gig.
Dr. Denise Guy of Wellington for services to infant mental health. Dr. Denise Guy is a consultant child psychiatrist and a pioneer in the field of infant mental health, or IMH. She helped develop the IMH workforce across Naku Ine Tamariki, Whānau Awhina Plunkett, and perinatal and IMH services in district health boards. She supervises practitioners working across mental health, early intervention, and early childhood education. She is founding trustee of Incredible Families, which delivers programs for parents and clinicians, and she coordinates training in the Watch, Wait and Wonder intervention, addressing problematic infant-parent relationships. She's a founding member of the Infant Mental Health Association, Aotearoa New Zealand, and as Vice President and President, developed 2 key initiatives, facilitating attuned interactions and 2 homes, Ngā Kainga e Rua. Dr. Guy holds teaching and advisory roles across the mental health sector. Dr. Denise Guy, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. John Cheen of Waipukurau for services to conservation. John Cheen worked for the Wildlife Service and played a key role in early detector dog work. He was a key driver of the visitor centre at the Mount Bruce National Wildlife Centre. He held several roles with the Department of Conservation in Hawke's Bay. In semi-retirement, he's been a consultant, helped set up the Hawke's Bay Biodiversity Foundation, and advocated for the Hawke's Bay Biodiversity Strategy. He's worked with local iwi and is a member of the Te Taio Hawke's Bay Environment Forum. Mr. Cheen was president of Ducks Unlimited and has worked to protect the Australasian bittern matuku wetland species. Mr. John Cheen, please come forward. Dr. Rose Namuri Sinclair of Otaki for services to the Kiribati community. Dr. Rose Namuri Sinclair facilitated the working group that established a conceptual framework for enhancing e-Kiribati well-being. She translated communications from the Ministry of Social Development into Kiribati, helped with translations and editing of the document, and led the writing of the Maniaba Strategic Action Plan to implement the framework. She helped establish and chaired the Kiribati Federation Aotearoa, advocating for the inclusion of Kiribati in the Pacific Language Week series. She helped write a training manual based on Kiribati heritage and cultural values to address violence in the Kiribati community. Dr. Namori Sinclair chaired the Kiribati Wellington Club and helped organize the 25th anniversary celebration of Kiribati independence held in Wellington. Dr. Rose Namori Sinclair, please come forward. Michelle Whiting of Porirua for services to education. Michelle Whiting was Deputy Principal of Marairoa School and Clyde Key School before becoming Principal of Otari School, where her leadership turned around a falling role and developed a coherent school structure. She became Deputy Principal and then Principal of Corina School and helped create the Porirua East Cluster Schools. She was co-leader of Porirua East Kahui Ako, which grew out of the cluster, initiating the co-leadership model for the Kahui Ako and for the inclusion of early childhood centres. Ms. Whiting led the establishment of Te Mana Okupe Trust, working towards digital equality for every child and family in Porirua East, and as chair of the trust. Ms. Michelle Whiting, please come forward. Mrs. Rosalie Rothel of Katikati for services to golf. Rosalie Rothel was the first woman to be president of Turangi Golf Club. She was convener for junior golf and the Greens Committee and 12 times senior club champion. She was president of Bay of Plenty Women's Golf Association and a member of the Bay of Plenty Junior Committee. She was a board member of Women's Golf New Zealand. She was a member and held various positions at Ohope Golf Club. She's been senior club champion and ladies open winner. Mrs. Rothel was the first woman to be a member of the Bay of Plenty Eagles Golfing Society and is convener of women's matches at Fairview Golf Club. Mrs. Rosalie Rothel, please come forward. Your Excellency, the investiture has concluded.
New Zealand's honours system is our highest public affirmation of outstanding individual achievement. It reinforces those things that make our society better: service, manaakitanga, and the pursuit of excellence. To our recipients, it has been a privilege to hear of your stories. You have each used your talents and abilities to improve the lives of fellow New Zealanders. In doing so, you embody the spirit of the whakatauki, whaia te iti kahurangi, ki te tūhoi koe me he maunga teitei. Seek the treasure that you value most dearly. If you bow your head, let it be to a lofty mountain. I urge recipients to wear your insignia with pride at every opportunity, knowing that you inspire others by doing so. On behalf of the Queen of New Zealand and all New Zealanders, I congratulate you on your achievements and I thank you again for your service to our country. Kia ora koutou, hui mai nei I tēnei rā. You will see on the back of your program the words for the national anthem, in te reo Māori and in English, And I invite you now to stand with me and to join in singing.